Hey everybody, welcome to Stamping with Melva. I'm Melva Peters and I'm an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator in British Columbia, Canada. And you can find me online at stampingwithmelva.com. It's Wednesday night, and on Wednesday nights I usually share a technique of some sort. So tonight I'm going to do some backgrounds using my brayer. So a really simple way to create a background, and we're going to add a little bit of splatter with water, spritzing water on it. So I'm also going to use note cards. So I haven't played with note cards for a while, but it's a quick, easy way to create a little gift set for someone you want to send something to. So that's what I'm going to do tonight, and I've realized that somehow Facebook has failed me again. I got an error. So it didn't just, sometimes when I try to go live on my Facebook group, it just doesn't work. This time around, I got an error, so I don't know what's happening. So again, apologies if you're watching this on replay and you usually watch me on Facebook. One, I would encourage you to go to my YouTube channel and subscribe. So you can search for Stamping with Melva YouTube and you will find my YouTube channel. Just subscribe and you'll get notified, and then you can always watch my recordings after the fact or watch me live. And two, I will post this link to the YouTube recording if you want to watch it after the fact. I don't know what's going on. Technology is not my friend these days. Hey, Julie. All right, so I'm going to switch over. I'm going to use a couple of sneak peeks. So these are sneak peeks from the upcoming online exclusives that come out March 4th. I'm having so much fun with them, I have to say. So that's what we're going to use tonight, and so we'll see how this goes. Let's switch over to my desktop. There we go. All right, so hopefully, let's see if okay, well, we'll zoom in a minute, but so I've got everything I need here. These are the two stamp sets that I'm using. Let's zoom in, that's not working. So this is called You Are Remarkable, and I love this daisy. I've been playing with this, and of course there's little dots for splatters and some really lovely, lovely sentiments, and a different shape, so they're long and narrow. Two-step stamping, so you can color your flower, or you can just stamp it like I'm going to in using Tuxedo Black, or you can use this. It's a distinctive stamp, so it's not perfect. And look at this adorable little bee, so cute. All right, and then I'm using the sentiments from Textured Notes. So this is part, this is a bundle, and it's part of the Botanical Textures bundle, no, suite, that comes with this, and it's some gorgeous rectangle dies, all different patterns around them stitched. And there's two different designer series paper with this bundle, some also some matte neutral embellishments and some white ribbon. This is just a standalone stamp set. So I'm using this image because I absolutely love it, and then these two sentiments for my cards. All right, so this is a pack of the note cards. You get 20 note cards and envelopes, so it's a great deal. They are a little bit smaller, so these are 3.5 by 5, but they're perfect to send a little note, and you can mail them, so they're not too small to mail, so they're a great deal. I'm going to do 4 of them tonight because I want to create a little thank you or a little package for someone. So I've got my 4, and of course 4 envelopes that will go with it. Now I went ahead and cut, because I'm going to do backgrounds using my brayer, and I'm going to spritz with water. So I went ahead and cut out 4 pieces of basic white cardstock that is 3.5 by 5, and those are going to be for the front of my note cards, and I'm going to trim them after I'm done. Okay, so what I'm going to do, I pulled out 2 different colors here. So I'm going to create 2 that are fresh freesia and 2 that are bubble bath. So, and now my brayer. I don't use my brayer very often, but I love the fact that we now have a brayer back. One, make sure you've cleaned it before you use it, because if you're like me, sometimes they don't get cleaned as well as they should. So I just take a baby wipe. If you can use your Stampin' Scrub as well, but I just use a baby wipe to clean anything. Oops, and I lost my light. There we go. Off. Now, there is this little piece of metal, both sides sticks up. So if you when I first started, I was using it with those kind of it's not points, but those prongs downwards, and you run into problems because you can't get onto your card. So make sure when you're brayering the color, those are up. And what that does is those are the stand that you can put your brayer down without it inking up your project. So this is Bubble Bath, and I'm just running my brayer over top. It's hard to see the color with this one because Bubble Bath is so light. So I'm going to start, and hopefully it's definitely very light. Oh, you can see it. There we go. I'm going to pick up some more, and I'm going to turn it over. And it's not going to be perfect, and I'm okay with that. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to put this on my silicone mat because I'm hoping I might get a better, not really, image. I was thinking I might get a better image, but I'm just kind of running this back and forth, and I'm okay that this isn't kind of perfect, and that's why I thought the splatter of water would kind of look cool on this. So I'm just kind of creating, it's almost got a bit of a diamond pattern, and while this is still a little bit wet, let's put that down like that, move my paper out of the way. I've got a spritzer. Let's see if you can see this any better. So you can see you've got a bit of a pattern from where I've moved the brayer, and then I'm just going to take and spritz and with some water. And hopefully you can see. Now this is why I didn't do this on the note card itself, because this is quite flimsy because it's a little wet, but you can see where the water has hit the paper. So we'll just set that aside, and we're going to put the next one on. So I'm going to do 2 in Bubble Bath. If you wanted to, you could do 4 different colors, but I'm going to do 2. Let's bring this out a bit. There we go. 2 in Bubble Bath. So I'm just kind of running my brayer over to pick up ink, and you can add, if you wanted to add a different color, you could add on a different color, but I'm going to keep these pretty simple. And again, with my spritzer. Now, I don't have my Facebook page up, so if you're commenting on my Facebook page, I'm not seeing those, so let's just refresh and make sure. Okay. Not seeing comments, so other than Julie. Okay, so we're going to spritz this. Oops. Just kind of creates a little bit of texture. It's better, this one turned out better where I've got more of a splatter look to it, but this is actually kind of moving in that direction too. Okay, so now let's close up my Bubble Bath. Let's see if I can do 2 of these at once. Now, Fresh Freesia. Now, I'm not going to worry too much about this being clean because Bubble Bath is so much lighter than Fresh Freesia. Ooh, isn't that a pretty color? I'm getting some darker spots on this one, but that's okay. Almost dropped that. Hey Holly, oh no worries about being late. Yeah, you can always watch it on the replay. All right, so there's that one. It's kind of fun to get these lines. I'm not sure why. That's better. But But you can intentionally add in some of these lines going in different directions. There we go. All right, so let's close that one up. And again, I'm going to take my spritzer, again, just water in it. There we go. It works really well if you actually get kind of splotches of water, which is really cool. Now I'm going to take my heat tool. Let's get that wet silicone mat out of the way. My heat tool, because I do need to stamp on this, and so I'm just going to take and dry this as much as possible because it is quite damp. And I don't want anything to bleed when I stamp. So these are going to be really simple. So the hardest part, and if that can be said, the hardest part is creating these backgrounds, and that wasn't hard at all. All right, that's those two, and there's the pink ones. And they are warped a little bit. I'm going to use Tear and Tape when I adhere them onto the card, because that way, if they are warped a little bit, they will hold flat or lay flat. So I said I cut these to 3.5 by 5, which is the size of the front of the card base. So I'm going to take and trim these pieces to 3 1/4. I want to do that. Okay, let's do this. It's 3 1/4 by 4 3/4. Try not to cut my splatter off is what I'm moving it around. All right, so there's that. And then so 3 1/4. I always, when I'm brayering or creating backgrounds, pretty much of any sort, I always cut them wider and longer than I need, because sometimes, sometimes you just don't get that kind of perfect edge that you want. All right, so there's the two. Hopefully those are the same size, pretty close. All right, and then 3 1/4 by 4 3/4. I love this fresh freesia one. It's so pretty. And you can see that what were more distinctive lines when I did my brayering have almost disappeared. There you can still see a little bit of the dark sections, but the water helps it to blend in. You do want to use water and not alcohol, because I used our stamp pads, which are water based, not alcohol based. So if you're going to do splattering, you want to make sure you're using water to do the spritzing. Okay, so I've got those, got my envelopes. So what I'm going to do is, before I do anything and put them on, I'm going to stamp, and they're going to be, like I said, pretty simple. I'm using Tuxedo Black Memento, and I'm using this lovely daisy. So we'll stamp. I'm going to stamp it kind of over to one side, and I'm going to maybe move it around so that they're not all stamped in the same. Isn't that a pretty stamp? I love it, and it just makes it so easy to create a card base or a note card or a background for a card base. Put that one in the corner. Like I said, move them around. And if you want to, you can stamp, and then you could actually use the two-step stamps, so the other stamps for the stem and the flowers, and you could stamp inside them. But like I said, I just love that black daisy on the background. And again, this stamp is from the You Are Remarkable stamp set that's online exclusive. Let's re-ink that because I kind of left that sit for a minute. Okay. And I have managed to get some black on my fingers, and I have a perfect on one of the card fronts. I have the perfect opportunity for some embellishments because I've got a bit of a splodge, All right, so I'm going to take my bone folder and just burnish the score lines. Same on these. These are pre-scored for you. And so you always, regardless of whether you've done the scoring or they come pre-scored, you fold into the mountain or the raised line, same as if you were cutting cardstock yourself. Okay, so now I need a sentiment, and I have the 2 sentiments here, and I did cut some basic white because I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to stamp my sentiments on basic white and then put them onto my card front. And let's see if I can manage to stamp that straight. Not too bad. That one's better. Let's turn that one over and see if I can do there. So there's 2 thank yous. 1, 2, and then I thought I would do the one that says a little note of appreciation. I think maybe I can get 2 on this one, just barely. Okay. So we'll take our these. I'm just going to cut in half. And this one I'm just going to trim a little bit because I could have made that a little bit smaller. If you wanted to fussy cut them, you could, but I'm just going to leave them in the rectangles. Okay, there we go. So let's take, and I said I was going to use tear and tape because my my card, these pieces of the backgrounds did warp a little bit with the water and then the heat tool. So I'm just going to take and put tear and tape down 2 sides, and that will help them adhere flat onto the note card. These on, and then we can, it doesn't take long. If you could do a bunch of these backgrounds up and have them ahead of time. So let's do this one first. Now here's a tip for you: when you're pulling or taking the backing off tear and tape, I use the pokey end of my piercing tool and just get underneath that, and I only pull it off halfway and put that tab out to the side. And that way, the tear and tape's really sticky, and I still have black on because look, I've got some splodges. So now when I lay this on, I can get it into position, and because, like I just said, it's really sticky and it doesn't want to move once you've kind of got it into place. So just kind of hold it down, and then you can peel out the rest of that backing. And we have our card front done. And the same on this one. it into position, press it down, and that one tore off. So let's get the rest of that off, like that. You could even, if you wanted to, you could do a whole 8.5 by 11 sheet of this background, of a background, not necessarily this background, but of a background, and then just cut it into the size of pieces that you want. That would make it really quick and easy to make some cards up. So when you peel off your tear and tape, just burnish those edges with your finger. Okay, so now those are my cards, but let's get some sentiments on. So I have a splodge up here. So I am going to, no, I'm going to put that down. Put these on within dimensionals. I'll use some embellishments to cover my my bit of a splodge on that one. So we'll just take this and put it on right there. So we'll do a thank you in both the bubble bath and then the fresh freesia. And then these two, a little note of appreciation. The other stamps that I absolutely love the sentiments on for these kinds of cards is the penciled pear. It's a great, it's got some great sentiments. It's got a little note. I think it says a little note of thanks, and it's lovely to use. So if you're looking for those, these kind of sentiments that will go, and I'm going to put that right there. Even though it covers up part of my stem. Now these are the Starburst sequence embellishments that come as part of the I think it's called Lovely Garden, which is another online exclusive suite that comes out. And so they come in fresh freesia, it's either Daffodil Delight or Crushed Curry, and white. And so these will go perfectly on our cards. Two sizes, and they've got just a little bit. I don't know if you can see them. Let's see. Can you see them? Come on, there we go. Oh, there we go. You can just see the Starburst pattern to them. All right. Now this one is going to go up there because, oh gosh, I really did. I have a bit of a black splatter, so embellishments are the perfect use for little splodges and little mistakes that you want to hide. There we go. Now I'm not even going to put anything on the inside of these cards because they're just kind of note cards that somebody can use. So there we go. There is my set of note cards that I'm going to put into a little package. I like to use just the clear envelope. And if I wanted to, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4. So I'll put them into a clear envelope with the little note, with the envelopes and the note card, and it will be a perfect little gift. Now, I just decided that I'm going to stamp this little tiny bee on each of the envelopes. Let's get the envelope going in the right direction. Look at that. How adorable is that little bee? Thanks, Julie. It kind of coordinates with the tiny bee trinkets, so I could have actually used the tiny bee trinkets on my cards. All right, there we go. Decorated the envelopes too. Thanks, Julie. Okay, let's see, where are we? There we go. All right, everybody, thanks so much for joining me tonight. And again, apologies for those watching on Facebook. One, I can't see your comments if you're commenting on my Facebook page for some reason, so I'll go back into Facebook and check that out. And I will post this video into my Facebook group shortly so that you can watch it on the replay. Let's see, I won't be live again until Saturday, so come join me at 11 o'clock on Saturday and we'll make a project together. I'm gonna make an Easter card. I haven't made any Easter cards yet, and it's coming up. It's about a month away. Actually, I guess it's about 6 weeks away. So come join me and we'll make an Easter card together on Saturday.